And with that, I would like to introduce Jonathan Meeks with the Commonwealth of Virginia Department of Transportation. He's the Safety Service Patrol Strategic Initiatives Coordinator. In this role, he monitors SSP contracts and champions strategic initiatives such as VDOT's TRIP, Towing Recovery Incentive Program, for those of you who don't know what TRIP means, and the state super loads programs. He brings over 20 years of public safety and incident management expertise with a strong background in facility, security, patrol operations, and program oversight. Welcome, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jim. All right, today I'm going to talk to you about Virginia's smart emergency vehicle lighting with our incident management vehicle fleet, and I'm going to touch a little bit on the SSP program as part of that. All right, so SSP program and incident management program as a whole gives you an overview of some status, some legislative changes, the agency's planning and development of the informational instructional memorandums and their documents, and the partnerships through this whole process so far, and the red secondary lights development. Next slide, please. Here's a quick overview, just to throw it out there. You can see on the left from 1960s, the SSP program, and then on the right, the picture of the SSP program as of now. Next slide, please. The SSP program covers 1,062 one-way post miles with 68 roving posts, 20 posts that are 24 hours a day across 3 of the districts. And you can see got 60 of them that are hitting at the main peak hours of operations. Next slide. Here's just a quick overview of our SSP incidents and assists from 2024 to 2025. And I have broken that out based on traffic control and the crashes with lane blockages so far. SSPs do all this data, plus the incident management coordinators statewide they play a big part in all of this as well, and more at the rural road levels. All right, thank you. Next slide, please. All right, back in 2022, the legislation had been updated and amended to include the Department of Transportation's Safety Service Patrol and Incident Management Coordinators, which would allow their vehicles to be equipped with alternating blinking and flashing red and white secondary warning lights. And they went into specifics on this where the lighting had to be installed in the vehicles, and an approval process that was provided by the Superintendent of State Police. Okay. So part of that was also a EVOT course. It had to do with how the legislation stated, and we had to develop this course within what we had done. Excuse me, guys. We reduced the course down to 4 hours, 2 hours of classroom, 2 hours of practical instruction, and the certifications for each of those is about 24 months, and then every 24 months they have to take the 2-hour recertification course to be recertified for the course itself. Next slide, please. So part of this development, VDOT partnered with our contract partner AECOM to develop a proof of concept, and which was demonstrated to VDOT and to state police in an effort to ensure compliance and to find where we can put these lights within the current platforms that we currently have. Next slide, please. What I have here is a test example of everything that we've had to work through with the different areas of operations within the state agency and with state police, Virginia Department of Fire programs. This is all the stuff we've had to do just in case some of the other states out there are looking to go in this direction. And then lastly, the part of that was to include finding the funding to upfit the vehicles. We also had to start working on our instructional and informational memorandums to either develop one completely, which one of them was the schematics on how they look so we can get stuff uniform statewide. And the other here is the traffic incident management response, which we had to update as well. Next slide, please. Upon working with state police on this process on light placement, we were able to develop the locations, and they were able to provide a bulletin for the state inspection stations statewide that would allow these vehicles to pass inspection with these lighting systems in place, whether they're active or non-active. So far, statewide, we have 188 SSP vehicles with a various amount of equipment installed in them when it comes to the red lights, which is not active in these vehicles at all. And with the part of this program, we're focusing right now on the incident management vehicles, where there are 28 of them that have been identified where we're installing the upfit right now. And you can see some examples of the items that they equipment that they have installed in them, or we're working in that direction to get them in there. Next slide, please. So part of the smart lighting program is to create a response and a park mode. And I have some videos later on in the slides that'll show you what the response mode looks like and what the park mode looks like. And this covers both amber lighting and the red secondary lighting. And you can see the response mode has a higher flash cadence. Okay, you can go next slide. And here is what it looks like with the park mode enabled. You can see a slower flash pattern. Okay. I hope this stuff was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or my team listed here. If you email us, please copy all of us on the email chain. And thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today.
Thank you. What I'm going to do now is for Jonathan, I have a couple canned questions here for you, Jonathan, and then I'll give one to the sergeant, to the master sergeant. First, for you, Jonathan, what is your timeline for deployment of the smart lighting for the 28 incident management vehicles and the 188 SSP fleet vehicles?
Well, currently we're working on just trying to get the first part of this going as far as the build side. We are very close to 50% on the IMC fleet for the agency side IMCs, and we have not moved forward or made any decisions to activate anything with the SSP trucks at this current moment. And I just want to put it out there that the VDOT and the TIM contractors, they lack the codified responder designation when it comes to sovereign immunities, and it cannot legally be delegated or assigned. So basically, they well, it's Well, that's about how it works. We haven't really moved forward. We're working on the that piece of it. We haven't have not given a solid date yet to even go live with the bread secondaries at all at this moment.
Okay, well, we'll stay in touch with you, get more information at a later point as well. Have another quick question for you. What challenges, if any, do you face in retrofitting the vehicles with the technology, the smart lighting technology?
It's a very based on the IMC fleet's a very diverse fleet. There's a whole bunch of different models of vehicles, and it's made it a real challenge
Sure.
to work through a vehicle that has already been upfitted before, having to chase down wiring and try to make sure everything works. And it's a lot easier to start out with a clean, brand new vehicle with nothing in it that's just completely upfitted from start to finish. So
Yeah,
that's
that
been one of the biggest challenges.
yes, sir. Thank you. And it makes perfect sense. Question for you, Thomas. You have been sharing the principles of smart lighting and its value through print, conferences, and one-on-one. What advice might you offer to an agency that's trying to bring smart lighting to its fleet?
It's a good question. I think the biggest impact that I've been able to see is bringing in a vehicle to showcase it, right? So, like we can all talk about it, but we had that presentation we did up last year, right up in Chicago area, and we were
Mhm.
able to get some administrators and end users there and showcase different vehicle setups. And the proof is in the pudding when you see it in person, when you can actually experience the different flash patterns, see the difference of a full power versus a low power light at night. Um, See especially workers, right? If we simulated workers next to flashing lights and you could say, hey, this actually makes sense to spend extra money um, on our new vehicles or retrofit existing vehicles to actually experience that in person. So if an agency is looking to do that, if you have an agency in the town next to you that's got a smart a vehicle with an advanced lighting system, having them come demo it to whoever's going to be paying the bills and making the decisions there to go with it. That's the first start because once you see it, everyone, the light, if you will, clicks and people see that it's worth the investment. And then from there, if you need the extra help with research studies to show why this is actually there. There's actually been science done on it that supports the smart lighting acronym. That just so happened to be that we knew that Bulla was out there doing that type of stuff that supports it. Because sometimes agencies like to see, well, where's the science behind it, or is this true? And his car looks neat. Well, there's actually studies that show that. So that's a great place to start to move forward in the smart lighting realm.
Absolutely. You nailed it. I mean, uh, the buy-in from the decision makers to see it, feel it, touch it, and so on. That is so important. And it may sound like a no-brainer, but you need to, as I said earlier, as an influencer and leaders that I believe everyone on this webinar are or is, we need to share this data, share this information, and of course, you have all of us, Master Sergeant Brengel and Jonathan in my office and Dr. Bullock now. You have the resources to try to make a difference with lighting in your state, your jurisdiction, your agency, et cetera. So thank you again to Jonathan Meeks with VDOT and Master Sergeant Thomas Brengel with Illinois State Police. Quick question for Adam has moved on. So this question is for Paul Yamashita. Can you share how Caltrans uses these drones more routinely for Tim?
So we don't have a set and operating procedure to deploy the drones. We have three now within the state. Um, like I said, they are cellular based automatically, so it can live stream. But we had a number of lithium ion fires that we were told that this would have been very helpful because in the areas that the fires were at, we do not have any kind of CCTV camera or communication. So now that we know that they work with Starlink, I'm hoping to get a mobile Starlink unit to test it out in remote areas where there is no cellular coverage. We don't use the drones so much for traffic queuing, as Caltrans has what's called Quick Map, which will show us what the queuing looks like. Ours is mainly more for, like you were talking about, Jim, is the TIM side, as to where is the incident, what lanes are blocked, and at that time, where are we as far as in the clearance? How close are we, or things like that. That's how we're deploying it.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Question for Dom. How has training on the use of tethered drone gone? Any tips or lessons learned?
Yeah, the biggest tip is stay away from those Part 107, 108 certifications. If you don't want to, redirect your folks from learning, both their skill set in the Safety Service Patrol as well as trying to maintain their certification. That's why we went with the tethered drone, and that's why we used aviation to really help us out with regard to crafting what those need to be. So once we wrote those checklists down and how to operate it, it became very easy to operate that photokite. The Mavic became very problematic and people couldn't figure it out. They couldn't figure out how to share. We were trying to use Teams to use it. So that one kind of sat in the closet, not knowing anything. But the photokite is what really shined, is because it required very little training. It was, you press your button, it goes up in the air, you connect with the iPad, and then you're flying and you're good to go. And they can walk away and work on the incident. So with regard to training, when you're not doing the Part 107 and Part 108 certifications, stick with what's easy. That's why the tethered system worked for us, specifically the fully integrated photokite system.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for sharing that. And last question, back to Dwayne real quick. Dwayne, what is the sentiment from state police?
Actually, they like it. At first it was like, they could take it or leave it. But just in the past week, I've talked to a couple of the crew guys and their program manager. They are pleased. They are cutting their time out on the road significantly. I don't have the data that supports that, as far as, it's probably going to take at least probably another year. But talking to the crew members, it is successful and they're happy to use it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the point about the data, however you say it, it's important for this technology and all the technologies under the Everyday Count 7 program that we engaged in, whether it be debris removal systems or advanced warning, UAS, emergency vehicle preemption, the smart emergency vehicle lighting, etc. Please continue to collect and capture the data, because we will revisit these later on in the coming years. So next slide. I'd like to Kyla, next slide. Okay. These 10 resources are available to you all. I won't read them all to you. Just take advantage of them. The recording of this webinar will be available through the NOCO website within the next week or less, I'm pretty sure. And I'd like to thank our presenters, all 6 of our presenters, Captain, I just promoted you, Thomas. Master Sergeant Thomas Brengel from ISP, Jonathan Meeks from VDOT, of course, Dom Ciaramitaro, Paul Yamashita, and Dwayne Day, as well as Adam Perez. All of you, many thanks. And we shall see you next month. Keep doing great things, as I always like to say. God bless, and bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.